This show is a lot different. Welcome, everybody, to the first episode of the Sons of Serizawa Podcast. Now, who the fuck are the Sons of Serizawa? Well... First things first, we have the almighty Adam Noyce.
Damn fucking right, I'm almighty.
It's almighty and also overproductive.
Yep.
And to the right, we have the complete opposite. We have a man who posts absolutely nothing on his YouTube channel, but somehow we still love him. We have the wonderful Dylan McCandless.
Hi, everyone.
Everyone, we have a miracle. David Joshua Hernandez has just popped online.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That's today.
Charlton Heston. This is my best Heston impression. You ever notice that he does those weird
Yeah.
Take your stinky paws off me, you damn dirty ape.
Dirty ape. It's like, what the fuck was that? I'm constipated.
So, did you start without me?
Yes, David, say hi to the people.
Well, howdy, y'all.
The first episode of the podcast, I kind of wanted to take us back to the beginning, if you guys don't mind, for a little bit. Let's tell our secret origin. And it'll be written by John Burns. It'll be really, really good. The art will be gorgeous.
But then Fox will make a movie out of it and fuck it up.
This group of people right here, the ones you're listening to, the Sons of Serizawa as they are, started way over a year ago. We may have started the Facebook page, but we started the actual group of people. We became friends way before that. Almost a year before that even. I mean, we've been talking for almost 2 years now. And the story itself is kind of funny just because of how quick we all became good friends. And it all started with me and David. So that means everyone else is unimportant. We are the founding fathers, and you are just nothing.
We're Starsky and Hutch, by the way.
We're Starsky and Hutch. We have the car, too, so don't fucking question us. Someone had messaged me about doing a video specifically about the Legendary Pictures Godzilla design, what I think it should look like. And I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. But you know what? I want to try an experiment. I want to see if I can get a guest on the channel. You know, someone I never communicated directly with someone online. And I thought that would be really cool. Because me and you had been communicating for, I think, even over a year at that point through comments and messaging and stuff, just about random stuff, mainly focusing on the Legendary Pictures Godzilla stuff. I was just like, hey, man, do you have a cell phone? And you were like, yeah. Give me your number. Let's fucking do a video together. It was the narration recorder on Windows Movie Maker with my cell phone on speaker next to the microphone and David on the other line, and then I was talking in person. It's actually not as bad as you think it is. The way I described it, you think, oh, it sounds like a disaster. It's clear. You can hear everything he says, everything I say. So that was kind of the first chat that sprung kind of the way our community came about, was just, and we just created this whole subgenre of our videos with just chats with people. And then at that point, Adam, had we talked through messaging before that?
I found you through your Godzilla series video. And I saw your chat with Gorizard, and I was like, fuck it, if he could do it, I want to do it. What I did was I personal messaged you. I said, hey, I kind of want to do this chat. Actually, I created Skype specifically for this video.
As did I. The funniest thing about that whole situation was I had no idea how to use Skype. I must have messaged you 50 times.
Yeah, we were trying to figure it out. It was like, the video was long enough, but we were like 3 hours before that trying to figure out how to freaking use Skype.
Yeah, and the biggest problem for me was I didn't know if I was sending you IMs or not because they weren't popping up. And Adam had like this page of just, hey man, I'll be there soon. All the same message, which was basically, I'm going to Wendy's. When I get back, we'll do this thing. But anyway, so the story picks up there to October. Me and Gorizard had done the 2 chats. Me and Adam had done 2 chats. We had done the Godzilla one, then we did the one about Planet of the Apes.
Which is awesome.
Then the story springboards into ZGC. ZGC, for those of you who don't know, Adam, David, and I did a show for quite a while. It ran from January to September. We do a movie, we review it, and then we do a segment about movies that never got made. And I remember the funniest thing was that we planned out every single movie we were going to review for a year.
We complete that bucket. No, we're not going to do that.
Anyway, so we did ZGC. We did it for a couple months. I really liked it. I really enjoyed doing it. I think we all did. Just the biggest problem that came up was it was a really rigid thing to plan out for a couple big reasons. One, we all have very distinct schedules. And the other wrench in that thing, Gorizard lives in a different time zone than we do. And what makes it even more difficult is we have to watch the movie and pick out a movie that never got made each month.
It just became a gigantic clusterfuck.
Yeah, it just became a chore. And this is long before I had met Dylan. I had seen him in the comments quite a bit, but I didn't know who he was, or I didn't even know he did his own videos at that point. Do you remember how you found our channels?
Yeah. I was just on YouTube looking up Godzilla stuff, and I came across you and Adam's chat.
Oh, okay. So it was that chat that springboarded you into it.
Yeah, I had found that chat between you guys, and then I became fans of you individually, went off and watched all your stuff or whatever, and just left comments and things, and then one day out of the blue, I look at my messages, and Adam wants me to be in this chat. So I say, all right.
Yeah. It was World War G.
Which was the first time I talked to Bill in person, because we had been communicating through messages on something else.
Yeah, let's get it. Oh, I'm sorry, I fucking forgot that. That's another big part of the story is the Godzilla gang. Dylan, it was pretty long before we ever met. Had written me the Villain Gang pilot, which is on my channel. Check it out. So me and Dylan had talked. I had wanted to talk to him personally because I kind of got the sense that he was a cool guy through the messaging, and we had finally met with World War G 2. You stuck out to me as someone with a very unique sense of humor, and this is one of the biggest reasons why I have you in so much of my stuff is because I love your sense of humor. It's very similar to mine, but the thing that you have that I just cannot do is this amazing dry wit and this incredible dry sarcasm, and I love it. And it's something that I could never hope to have. I'm too energetic, and that's part of my downfall is people kind of get sick of the energetic. So that's why I love having you there, because you're this wonderful person to bounce off of. So what happened was, after World War G 2, it was fantastic, and I was like, we need to do something with this. We can't just keep making random videos. We have to put a label on it. And we came up with 2 ideas, Godzilla Nation and the Sons of Serizawa.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Why did Cars get a sequel and that hasn't? Now they've made planes.
I can't believe that's fucking getting made.
Oh, my God.
It's done.
When I saw the poster, I thought it was a joke.
It is so disgustingly commercial. I'm just like, what the fuck has happened to Pixar, man? What the fuck?
And have you seen the trailer? It's pretty much exactly what you think it is. It's cars with airplanes.
Yeah, it's pretty much what it is. It's essentially JJ the Jet Plane. You guys remember JJ the Jet Plane?
Yeah, I watched it.
I remember this weird period where I don't know if you guys remember.
I didn't remember it until I just looked it up on Google. Oh my God.
I was introduced to JJ the Jet Plane the first time I saw Godzilla 1985. I bought the VHS tapes on the same day.
Oh my God. This never struck me as a child, but these characters are pretty fucking creepy. They have these terrible CG faces on, and I'm looking at Google Images right now, and I think I'm gonna have nightmares.
You're gonna give me fucking nightmares. I'm gonna put it as my wallpaper just to scare me.
Oh God! One of the names of one of the episodes is called Big Jake's Birthday Surprise.
I just want to say right now, guys, I'm gonna send you a link to this fucking thing.
Okay.
Fucking helicopter.
Oh my God! Holy shit! Look how creepy that thing is.
I know.
Here's my question. What the fuck is he looking at, and why is he smiling?
He looks like he's about to rape somebody.
That looks like a rape face.
I think that might be from the episode Big Jake's Birthday Surprise.
Hey, Big Jake, you want your birthday surprise? Oh, not really. Well, too bad.
We got
dun, 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 dun.
We got you something for your birthday. What is it? It's rape.
It's rape.
I'm gonna clean out your fuselage, Big Jake. What?
I'm gonna deforest your Kelly.
What?
Sorry.
Oh my God!
I've been waiting for that forever.
Look at this. I'm gonna post this one up too. Look at the second one. It looks like he just got jizzed on.
Oh! Now the story's coming together. I think the helicopter just raped him.
Here's my question. What the fuck is the point of having a plane in this universe if you can't put any fucking people on it?
This is my problem with the Cars universe. Who built these things?
Maybe it's like the creation myth that there was like this.
My God.
What the fuck? What the fuck? Why does that plane have a tooth?
He's watching the rape.
Who the fuck created these things? There's a difference between sentient cars.
Yes.
And trains, planes, and boats with faces on them.
I know.
There is something disturbing about that. Who the fuck makes these planes with human faces on them? This show has to have a dark origin story. Here's the story. So there's this fucked up scientist who is obsessed with planes and thinks they're sexually attractive.
Oh God.
So in order to have intercourse with them, he cuts off human faces, lets them bake in the sun so they inflate, and then puts them on these planes.
Okay, the human single-handed plane. You guys, if I can just interrupt, okay, look at this.
Oh God!
Wait, it gets better. It gets better. Oh. That silver plane is Big Jake.
It is a conspiracy theory to pollute our childhood minds. Where the hell are you finding that?
See, we had it all wrong. Big Jake is the one who's handing out his own birthday surprise.
Well, here's the thing. Look at Big Jake's face. It's not even the face of a rapist. It's the face of an accidental rapist. No. I think what happened here is he's just like, oh, God, no. But he can't stop himself, so he just keeps going.
Because it just feels so good.
This podcast has become very homoerotic.
You guys, I just found the #1 Sharknado sequel that needs to happen.
What?
Sharknado with JJ. That needs to happen. That needs to happen. So yeah, this is the dark origin for JJ the Jet Plane. This scientist attaches faces to planes in order to bring them, and then he steals the souls of children and puts them in the plane so he can raise them. However, so he has sex with one of the planes, right? One of them.
Like you do.
As you do. He fucks the plane, and the plane gives birth to a half-human, half-plane hybrid. So, wow, this has been quite a podcast.
This is the weirdest chat I've ever been a part of.
But that's what makes it wonderful.
Should we end on plane jizz?
I think we'll end on plane jizz. Anyway, so that's it for the Sons of Serizawa podcast #1. We are the Sons of Serizawa, and of course, the science is sound.
Most sound.
Most sound. Pretend it is. I mean, plain jizz isn't sound either, but whatever. Anyway, let's fucking start. Hello, everyone. I am Zazubar, and welcome to the long-awaited, as in 2 weeks, sequel to the first episode of the Sons of Serizawa Podcast. Welcome to episode 2. And once again, Gorizard isn't here. So, we, of course, had to find ourselves a fill-in. And someone who has kind of made his way into our circle recently, but has been listening to us for years and has been a really great commenter for years, and a fellow awesome Kaiju fan, appropriately named, we have Mr. Kaiju Noir. Hello, sir. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello, and thanks for having me joining you guys.
Kaiju Noir.
Yeah.
Since Gorizard recommended you, in order to initiate you into the ranks of the Sons of Serizawa, he gave me a mission to relay to you. He tells me you do a pretty good impression of Patrick Warburton. I want you to give me a Twitter-sized review of Godzilla 98 in the style of Patrick Warburton. If you succeed, you will officially be a Son of Serizawa.
Oh boy.
No pressure.
No pressure. No pressure.
No pressure at all.
It's all riding on this, but no pressure.
All right, Patrick Warburton here to talk about Godzilla 98. Let's see, it's got a monster in it, and, that's about it. Don't really know much to say about it, other than that it's not that good. Peter! What are you trying to do?
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay, Joe. I'm trying to make my own. I'm trying to make my own Godzilla here.
Peter! What are you trying to do? You're trying to make it worse. Peter! You're making it... Peter.
You are officially a member of the Sons of Serizawa.
See, we need to colonize Mars so we can just pollute that planet, and then everything will say made on Mars.
Oh my god. I would pay for the day I buy a fucking pair of jeans and it says made on Mars.
One day the Asians will rule America.
That was so random.
See,
we're talking about fucking Martians, and you're just like, one day Asians are gonna rule the U.S.
Okay,
most Americans would say that dreadfully, but Gorizard's counting down the days.
I said this to Kaiju Noir the other day, and I said to him, I wouldn't mind being owned by an Asian.
And then
what if it's an Asian man?
And then I told him, hey, who said it was an Asian woman? And then David said,
I'm moving to Canada then. That's plan B right there. Plan A doesn't work.
Wait, so if you can't have Asians, you'll take Canadians?
So it's either ass rape or maple syrup. Take your pick. That's Canada's new fucking slogan. It's either ass rape or maple syrup. Take your pick.
Trading in the year of the dragon for the year of the moose.
Is he this is why you never have giant monsters attack Canada. They're too nice. Like Godzilla, he goes over there, he's like, you know what? Nah, they don't.
You're a good kid. You're a good kid.
They just talk him out of it. What if they had their own kaiju that was just a giant moose that just defends Canada?
He's the Gamera of fucking Canada.
You give him a terrible name like Moosla or something.
Moosla.
Moosla, Guardian of the Maple Leaf. There we go.
It's like Captain America. He's got a giant shield that's punching fucking other kaiju in the face.
Yeah.
Moosla, the demons from outer space.
Moosla and the demons from outer space.
Now, see, here's the thing, though. Moosla actually doesn't sound as cheesy as Roachra from Star Godzilla.
But to be fair, that was a joke. Well, so is this.
Just to throw out an Invader Zim reference, all Moosla has to do is start eating in front of Godzilla, and then he just gets really creeped out.
He shares a room with Moosla. It's like a giant, white clean room.
It turns out that the whole point of Dimension Tide is to send Godzilla to a room with a moose.
Oh my god, Godzilla wakes up, and he's just like, oh, what happened? Goddamn humans, he wakes up, there's a moose there. Hey. Anyway, so yeah, Moosla will be Godzilla's Canadian roommate.
I'm actually going to write a script of this and actually send it to the Canadian Film Bureau and see what happens.
they make it and they don't get sued.
We need to start a contest. People in the audience that do art, design Moosla.
Design Moosla.
Yeah, people in the audience who draw.
Design Moosla.
And on that note, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Sons of Serizawa Podcast. And this week, we have a very interesting series of circumstances. So first things first, you can hear my dad screaming in the background. So that's something.
It adds atmosphere.
It adds atmosphere to the reality of our recording situation.
He's our studio audience.
My dad is our studio audience, so clearly he's not happy with our performance right now, so we must up. That too is reflective on our performance. I don't know if you guys heard that.
So you're not enjoying this very much at all.
Guys, I hate to derail this, but I have a statement from Gorizard on where he is. This is a quote from Gorizard. I was unable to make it because I'm ripping off the mask of life, staring into the face of God.
Looks like he's pretty busy.
Yeah, it looks like he's got some shit on his plate.
You have some explanation.
So, Gorizard, I hope you're happy I read that out loud. You made it clear in our text messages that you wanted that to be so. So I have granted you that request. So I hope that makes you happy. Because that's my only goal in life, is to see David happy. That's why this podcast exists. It's not to be entertaining, it's just to make sure David doesn't kill everyone. Because actually, deep down, he's a god.
Seriously?
And we have to appease him, otherwise he will kill everyone on the planet. So that's why the Sons of Serizawa Podcast exists.
Why was I not told about this during orientation?
Because you know what, Andres? Otherwise you would have ran away like a little baby, and now you know, and you're going to stick through it with the rest of us.
God damn it.
The religious views of Bill Wurster
do not
necessarily reflective of the rest of the Sons of Serizawa.
I don't want to watch 6 hours of walking.
Because much like Kill Bill Volumes 1 and 2, they are very much tightly interconnected to the point where I can't watch one without immediately going, okay, next one.
First off, Kill Bill is a wonderful piece of cinema. I always watch them as one movie. But though I have to ask, though, Dylan, which one is your favorite one?
This is something I've thought a lot about, and it's really so neck and neck for me because the action sequences alone in Volume 1 are just so amazing. But I got to give Volume 2 a lot of credit for not doing the obvious thing at the end. And you know what I'm talking about.
Oh my God. Volume 2 is my favorite one because of that.
I have still never seen them out of just sheer fear.
Oh no, those two movies are awesome. They're amazing.
I don't care. The titles caused me immense childhood trauma.
Oh,
listen.
You don't understand. No, you guys don't understand.
You suck.
Listen,
you guys don't understand the shit that I went through as a child because of those fucking movies.
Bill, you have to look at it in context. Unless you're an international assassin who's played by David Carradine, you have nothing to worry about.
No, Dylan, that's not the thing. It's not a matter of should I worry. I had the shit kicked out of me when I was a child because of those fucking movies. There was a game when I was in second grade called Kill Bill. I got chased around the playground. I had to hide and shit. I felt like I was a fucking witch hunt.
Dude, you know what we need to do? We all need to show up at your place and then do what the bride does in Kill Bill and go after every single one of these guys who ever picked on you.
And we'll film it, and we'll show it out of order.
That's great.
The movie will start with the second to last kill.
Yep.
Instead of Kill Bill, it will be called Bill Kills.
We need Grant Morrison to come in and explain the continuity of the Sons of Serizawa podcast.
Well, you see, when the people from the future went back and replaced our old jizz scale with a 3-headed one, what happened is because when Marty got up to 88 miles per hour, he produced 1.21 gigawatts in the flux capacitor, and
you see, when the Doctor went back in time to the 60s and the Angels were in the present, his TARDIS remained behind.
And if you could just channel all of that energy into the warp drive.
No, dude, now I'm getting an image of Back to the Future where instead of Doc Brown creating a time machine using a DeLorean, it's just Mecha King Ghidorah, and Marty's like, Doc, you mean to tell me you build a time machine out of a Ghidorah? If you're going to build a time machine, why not do it in style? Holy shit, Doc, this is heavy. I know.
Don't curse, Marty. Don't curse.
Great Scott. Can you imagine the reaction when he gets back to the 50s?
Oh, God.
Oh my God! See, that explains the entire continuity of Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. Marty McFly flies Mecha King Ghidorah back to 1954 Tokyo and destroys it.
I know,
replacing the first Godzilla attack.
I can't say with all certainty whether this science is sound.
Shut up, Dylan. That's blasphemy.
No. The science simply is.
It exists. Whether or not it is sound is up to interpretation.
So what you're saying in the Forrest Gump language is science is as science does.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. there was a significant lack of David in the last episode, and the fans seem to be disappointed. So, David, by that same vein, in order to prevent a lack of David this episode, I would like you to start us off with some random topic. Tell us a story about something that happened to you in the week, a topic that struck your fancy, anything you want to discuss. It's all you, man. It's all on you for this first part of the podcast. Go.
Okay, fine. 2 things. 1, when the Asians invade the U.S., that's an invasion I'm never gonna be afraid of. 2nd, I stole the plot of an anime for my communications class, and people bought that story.
All right. Are you sure it's safe to share that information on the internet?
Do they know Gorizard? What are they going to do? Sue me again?
David, elaborate on the second story, because that one I'm intrigued in. What anime did you rip off?
Okay, I never seen the anime. I don't even know if this is an anime, because my friend told me this story, and he actually convinced me that it was a true story, but then he told me that he ripped it off from an anime. And
this is mental bullshit.
Okay, so anyways, I was supposed to write an essay about 2 lies and 1 truth. I was supposed to incorporate 2 lies into the truth. Self-explanatory. So I lied about going to band camp and meeting some foreign exchange girl and developing some sort of intimate relationship with her, then going back and getting drunk graduation night, and her calling me in the middle of my drunkenness and me just telling her off. So the beginning was false, so was the ending. The middle was true.
This is supposed to be an anime? Because this is a really boring anime. Just saying.
This sounds like a really boring anime.
Yeah, there's no tentacle monsters.
Yeah, if there's no Super Saiyans, I have no interest. Do you know what anime it's ripping off?
Is it like supposed to be one of those like wacky kind of animes where it's all a bunch of sexcapades and rape shows?
I have no idea. I never heard of the anime. My friend just ripped off 1 element of that anime and told it to me, and I bought it and I stole it, and it's a vicious cycle.
So I wouldn't even say you really stole it from an anime. I would say it's more like you borrowed the concept from a friend of yours.
You stole it from a guy who says that he got it from an anime, but in reality,
he didn't tell you the anime.
But in reality, he could have heard it from some shady guy in a back alley, or you know.
Yeah, what if he heard it from a shady guy in a back alley who then told him it was from an anime, which wasn't true? And then you see how this could work? It's really confusing.
Who cares? I got a B-. You're going to laugh at me, but I passed elementary, middle school, high school with C's and D's.
Uh-huh.
And so I needed to upgrade to a B.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Minus.
Hey, getting an A is as hard as getting an Asian. It's high standards.
That's why they start with the same letter, as it turns out. And that's why David is single. I thought about that too.
No, but why don't you regale the listeners with the story of your daring, manly trip to the hospital?
Okay, so on Wednesday night, I took an excursion to the hospital. What had happened was that night after I had gotten out of work, I was editing the school project I mentioned earlier, the news broadcast about asshole rats. Winner I am. And I was done, and I was rendering it, and I was getting ready to go to bed. So I'm one of those guys who needs music to, like, be the soundtrack for getting changed. So I put on, since it's October, I put on the Wolfman soundtrack and was listening to the scene where Larry is chasing Gwen through the woods. So I get up and I take off my work uniform. I still have my work uniform on at this point. I pull off my work uniform, throw it off to the side, and then I start taking my pants off, and I have them around my ankles. And I look up, and I'm looking up at the screen cap, and I'm like, that was a good fucking scene, listening to the music's building. And I start to try to pull off the legs of my pants, rather.
Pull off my legs. This is why Phil went
I started to rip off my own legs in tribute to the Wolfman. What happened was I was pulling off my legs with just my feet. I wasn't using my hands like I should do. And I was doing this standing. And I lost my balance, and I tripped. And I was like, fuck, I am not going to fall over this. This would be a stupid reason to fall. So first I tried to, like, grab onto the bed and, like, push myself back up with my right hand. but it didn't succeed. So I ended up my hand ended up rolling off the bed, and I ended up kind of turning a little bit. So I'm like, I have to try and break my fall, otherwise I'm going to fall on my shoulder and I'm going to get a really bad bruise. So if I kind of catch myself, I'll just kind of fall over and I'll be fine. The science was not sound on that decision. Yep. So I get over and I stick out my left hand to try and break my fall, and I put all of my body's weight, which guess what, is a fucking lot because I'm tall and fat, all of the weight goes on my left wrist, and I go down.
To recap, for those of you who aren't really thinking about the science here, he had the choice between catching himself with his shoulder, which is, it's a lot of, there's muscle and there's fat and all that as protection, or he could catch his fall with his hand, which is essentially a bunch of bones with skin wrapped around it.
This was kind of a repeat of young Bill's common sense, and I fell over, pivoted off my left wrist, and then came down again with all my body's weight on my left wrist. I came down, and I rolled over, and I rolled onto my ass, and I grabbed my hand because I knew it was going to start hurting, and I was like, ooh, this is going to hurt really bad, but it's going to pass really quickly. This was not the case. I realized when I felt it that I was like, oh, please don't tell me I just broke my wrist. And I grabbed it, and that's when the pain started. This throbbing, sharp, searing pain in my wrist that went from my wrist to the end of my forearm when it first happened, and it went down as the hours went on. So, holding my wrist, it's throbbing. I'm screaming out in agony, and obviously, fat ass that I am, this fall made a fucking noise, so everyone in my house is awake now, and my dad is screaming up to me, yelling if I'm okay. And I can't really respond because I'm in fucking pain and I'm screaming. I was yelling at my own stupidity. God damn it, Bill, you fucking idiot. I was actually kind of saying that, though, and I was cursing and I was, hollering in pain. And I said, Dad, I think I just broke my wrist. And he's like, fuck, goddamn, he's pissed because it's like 1 o'clock in the morning at this point. And he doesn't want to have to take me to the hospital. So he's like, go see what your mother says, and if it's really bad, I'll take you to the hospital. I was like, fuck, because I don't want to go to the hospital because I have to drive to school in the morning. So I go into my mom's room, I tell her what happened, she's trying to decide whether or not it's broken. Obviously, I'm in so much pain that I'm fucking shivering. Because I've only broken a bone once in my entire life when I was in 7th grade. And in 7th grade, I broke this same wrist, but I did it skateboarding, so it was a little bit manlier.
Was this during the filming of Ghost Skater?
No, Dylan, this was actually quite a bit later. Or no, it was actually before. For those of you who don't know what that is, go back to one of the first videos I ever made. You're in for a laugh. I was in enough pain where I was like, yeah, Ma, I think I need to go to the hospital. I really think it's broken. So my dad takes me to the hospital. I'm in the waiting room, and I fill out all the paperwork, and they start taking me to get me to a bed. So I'm like, all right, I guess I'm going to go to the emergency room. But then they start taking me into a different room. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And I realize they're taking me to the pediatric center.
Because they're thinking Bill had an owie, so they so they took him to the pediatrician for a possible broken bone.
So I'm rolling my eyes like, God damn it. Now, also keep in mind, I'm in agony, so I'm cursing my fucking mouth off. We go to the pediatric center. I sit down. I'm like, fuck. Everyone around me is a fucking child.
And you're cussing, so that's great.
Yeah, so I'm trying to keep my voice down and trying to stop cursing. Now, here's why I bring up the pediatrics thing, aside from my continued embarrassment of my supposed masculinity. So first of all, I hurt my wrist while tripping over pants in my own room while listening to the Wolfman soundtrack.
While tripping over pants.
Now, here is why I brought up the pediatric center in detail. A little girl, no older than 7, is brought in at the same time as me. And I had no idea why, because she looked healthy. So I'm like, all right, maybe she's just having problems.
She looks over at Bill and she says, what are you in for?
She's in the bed next to me. There's only a curtain separating us, so there's no sound barrier. So she's talking to her doctor, and they won't stop asking her whether or not she can go poo-poo. Now, here's why I bring this part up. I'm sitting here in my pajamas with a potentially broken bone, an awkward silence sitting across from my 53-year-old father, who is half asleep and doesn't want to be there, listening to this little girl talk about her bowel dysfunctions. And I'm looking at my dad just like, I can't help but smirk, and he has like this stone-cold fucking middle-aged man face, and I'm just like, this is terrible. It was just a really awkward moment, and fucking, I'm just sitting there just like, why did they put me in with this shit? There's babies crying, fucking little girls talking about how they can't take a poo-poo, and I'm sitting here in agony, cursing, and anyway, so I got x-rays. They told me you don't have a broken bone, there's no fracture, it's just a bad sprain. They gave me this black Velcro splint, and they said, put this on for a couple days, ice it, keep it elevated, and you should be good to go. I'm like, and the major question I had during this, the reason why I wanted to go to the hospital to see what was going on, was because I have to drive to school every day, whole county over. I gotta take the expressway to get there. And I don't know if any of you have ever driven on a New York expressway. It fucking sucks. Traffic, idiot drivers, constant accidents, constant cops. It's a nightmare. And to have to do that with one hand and a potentially broken arm, that sounded like shit. But they told me that as long as I could use my fingers, I would be okay driving, and I could still use my fingers. It was just the wrist that was sprained. So in the end, not really a big deal, and now it's just time to come up with a much more masculine lie for why it happened.
Even though you've just announced this one on the internet on your podcast.
Dylan, I don't put a lot of forethought into things these days.
I just want to say it's official that my background now is officially a picture of a baby sun bear.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Now every video Adam posts on YouTube is going to be a video about sun bears.
Somewhere in there. I just exited out of the page of the sun bear. If you go on Facebook, you will officially see that everything now is affiliated with sun bears.
Adam made everything sun bears. Everything is sun bears now.
Everywhere.
All he has to do is his Skype picture and his
Adam Noyce is sun bears.
Next Halloween, Adam Noyce is a sun bear.
Accepted friends request. Sean.
Everything on his fucking page with sun bear.
Sean Barry and a bunch of other people from the Toho Nation, who I actually kind of like, are all messaging me like, what the fuck is up with the sun bears?
Just tell them, wait for Sunday for the new SOS.
Hold on, guys. You guys are going to kill me for what I'm about to do.
We want to kill you anyway,
so.
You
just turned our Halloween spectacular into sun bear.
This isn't the Halloween spectacular. This is the sun bear.
I'm going to have to go make a new...
Just wait. All of you, go on Toho Nation right now.
Why?
Oh, God damn it, Adam! You bastard!
You maniac!
Alright, everyone, for the audience listening, what Adam has done is he has changed the group photo to that of a sun bear.
Damn you all!
You blew it up.
You blew it up!
Oh my God.
Everyone is going to be like, what the hell is going on? Oh my God!
All you have to do is do a post that we're recording SOS, and then they'll be like, oh, okay, that makes perfect sense.
Just like a scientist sound.
We used to be taken seriously. No.
No, we never should. Don't lie to yourself.
Outgone.
I would really love that comment by Dave.
I don't know if we're going to get through this news segment, you guys.
This has become the Sun Bears of Serizawa Podcast.
SBOS.
Beautiful. I'm creating a folder in my thing called Sun Bears for...
Everyone, this is why you should join Toho Nation, because you get shit like this from its administrators. They changed the entire page into a sun bear page.
When Bill Wurster turns one of the admins into a complete sun bear addict, this is what's going to happen, Bill. What I want to talk about, well, I was sick one day and really, really doped up on NyQuil.
Perfect time to watch a documentary about The Shining.
Well, no, I watched The Shining. And I was like, whoa. and so I typed up the making of The Shining on YouTube because I was listening to Cinema Snob talking about it. And they brought up this documentary called Room 237. I was like, what is this about? And so I typed it up, and somebody was kind enough to upload it for free on YouTube for me. And I was like, thank you, person on YouTube. And the more I watched this video, the more I realized that, my God, I'm not really crazy after all, because these motherfucking people are crazy. This movie, Room 237, is about what The Shining is really about. And apparently, The Shining is either about the Holocaust of Native Americans in the United States, Holocaust in Germany, or C, a confession about Stanley Kubrick filming the Apollo 11 landing on the moon.
Now, the levels of craziness vary from commentator to commentator.
When they open on Tom Cruise from Eyes Wide Shut fucking walking down the streets of London, and he fucking looks to the side and he sees a poster for The Shining, and there's this commentator talking about how when it came to England, the word on the poster said, the terror that swept across America is here. I'm like, that makes sense because it got released afterwards. And he keeps fucking like analyzing, and then he goes, he's not talking about the movie. He's not talking about the feelings Americans had watching the movie. He's talking about the Native Americans being slaughtered.
What spawns this is he notices a can on one of the shelves.
I'm going to say these people are fucking crazy, but you know what? It kept me interested because I was watching it and I was like, some of these things that they're pointing out, I think Stanley Kubrick did on purpose. Like there's one where Danny has the ball is rolled down and suddenly it cuts away and suddenly the pattern's different on the rug, and somebody could dismiss that as a filming mistake. I don't think that was a filming mistake.
No,
and the girl was talking, she was like, and suddenly Danny's become entrapped in this little circle that he's in, and I'm like, no, I think Stanley Kubrick could have done that on purpose. And then there was another one that really freaking made me want to watch the movie in a new light. Is the frickin' window scene where suddenly like how the room doesn't make sense, and when she was talking I was like suddenly like, oh my God, it doesn't make sense.
All of the stuff about the architecture in the hotel not making sense, I believe, because that makes sense for the movie thematically, and it's something that Stanley Kubrick would do. Then you get to the moon guy.
I had a lot of fun watching that stupid documentary.
Such a fun piece of entertainment.
You know what? I was even sending it. I sent it to like Dave. I sent it to you. I sent it to Dylan. I don't know if I sent it to Andres or not, but I was sending it to you as a joke, fully expecting you guys not to watch it.
We've never sat down and said, my God, in the background of Terror of Mechagodzilla, you can see a picture of an Ultraman kaiju. This is obviously proof that somebody at Toho poisoned E.G. Tsuburaya and is now...
Guys, we need to write a script.
Yeah, we find out Haru Nakajima intentionally poisoned E.G. Tsuburaya so he could stop playing Godzilla.
That's the only reason why he stopped, because in reality, he was a dedicated man, just like Ishiro Honda. And he's so sick of playing Godzilla that he was like, the only way I'm going to be able to do this is knock off E.G. Tsuburaya.
Is to kill E.G. Tsuburaya. Oh my...
No. I was going to say we need to pick the stupidest Godzilla movie ever. We need to pick, like, Godzilla's Revenge. And just do this really dark and twisted real story of what it's really about.
Yeah, well, that would be really easy with Godzilla's Revenge, given the fucking point of that movie.
When Minya says Godzilla should fight his own battles, clearly this is a message to France.
A message to France?
Minya is Japan trying to tell France to not do anything in Vietnam, because this movie was made when the Vietnam War was going on. And suddenly, Godzilla is America.
Oh my God, we tie it into Vietnam.
America getting in the way of Vietnam.
We all know Ishiro Honda is the master of allegory.
And if you look real hard into the clouds in the backdrop, you can see Ishiro Honda's face.
You can see Ishiro Honda's face.
You watch the stock footage, and you multiply the year, and if you add the years together, and then multiply it by divide it by 2, you get 42.
I'm going to do that math now.
I'm 90% sure it's not true.
If we seriously make a documentary connecting Godzilla's revenge to Vietnam, I'm making a music choice right now. We need the song "Fortunate Son" in there.
I would be willing to make it.
I'm totally down.
I will be willing to make this fucking movie.
I'm totally down.
Make it the same exact style as Room 237. Have really creepy music throughout the entire thing.
We'd have to call it
Shinpei's Toy Shop.
Shinpei's Toy Shop. That is the fucking name.
Okay, here's an important question, though. What does Gorosaurus represent?
Gorosaurus.
I think Gorosaurus and Manda are either a representation of Indochina.
Yes!
Yeah!
So Godzilla's America, Vietnam, they're all collectively... Monster Island itself is Vietnam.
Monster Island is Vietnam. Okay, Monster... I love this.
They're just all getting caught in the crossfire of this war between America and Russia.
So, that could actually be like a part of the Cold War.
Yes!
Godzilla's allies are the allied nations of the UN, while the monsters under Ghidorah, all the evil monsters like Spyga, Ebra, and so on and so forth, they are the Warsaw Pact.
You guys, the more we talk about this, the more this makes sense. You realize that, right?
Right?
We are becoming the moon guy towards the end of the documentary. I have to be all like, the Japanese government's watching me now.
Guys, here's the thing. Whoever has the ending, you need to pay close attention to whatever's on the billboard that guy is painting. That is going to be things.
Do we want to include the Haru Nakajima poisoning Ichi Tsuburaya?
Yes.
Wait.
Not only all the shit we just mentioned, it is also an admission by Ishiro Honda.
And what was the year of E.G. Tsuburaya's passing again?
Was 1969, which was the same year that this movie was.
Yeah. Well, he didn't.
It was 1970. 1970, actually. 1970.
Oh, so this could have been. It could have been Ishiro Honda's warning to E.G. Tsuburaya.
Holy shit!
And he was planning it.
Wants to kill E.G. and this is Ishiro Honda's warning. I think it should be that Ishiro Honda made this movie, not because Toho said he didn't have a choice, but because he wanted to make it as a warning to Ichi Tsuburaya that Haru Nakajima is going to fucking kill you.
That's why he uses all of the stock footage to overshadow his effects work over E.G. Tsuburaya's.
You guys. All this Vietnam stuff makes so much more sense when you take into account the fact that Ishiro Honda was a pacifist.
Oh my Christ, this makes so much sense.
Okay, so somebody needs to bring up Ishiro Honda being a pacifist. I think we all should have our own different variant opinions as to what Godzilla's Revenge is really about.
Right. Yeah.
Why don't you, because you're towing the one of the warning to E.G. Tsuburaya, why don't you, Bill, also do one on the stock footage?
And that will be the segue to the person who does Vietnam.
Which maybe I should be the one that does that because I know the history.
Right, exactly.
Dylan, why don't you do the billboard?
You do the billboard and all the background stuff.
Yeah, I'm just the guy who overanalyzes frames. This tree in this frame does not match this tree in this frame.
Who wants to do the one in the toy shop?
The real world generically. Who wants to do like the real world scenes?
I guess I'll do it.
You have to analyze the toys that are on the shelves and make up wacky.
You have to analyze the occupations of the parents. The father, played by Kenji Sahara, is a train conductor, and the mother, I believe she is a receptionist. Oh my! No, totally forgot. Somebody has to do the bank robbers.
Bank robbers?
Yes.
Dave, would you do the bank robbers?
I'll take whatever is left.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll take whatever's left.
We're going to get the bank robbers.
Dave's section is killing all the women in the movie.
I'm going to analyze the babes.
There are very few in that movie.
and most of them are kids.
Andres addresses the elephant in the room. David is doing his analysis of the women. He's just like, Dave, they're all fucking kids, man. Yeah, okay, so you guys need to record yourself as like an actual interview thing.
Like you guys will have to wind up, I think, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take down all these notes and I'm just going to just talk into a microphone like I normally do a video on. Anything that, kind of connects it, I'll just use a random Ishiro Honda movie.
like, Bill, you're telling the story when you first started thinking about this, you'd be like, I was walking down a room, and I'll have, like, footage of something from, like, Battle in Outer Space of a guy walking down a hallway.
When I'm talking about here how Ishiro Honda is, like, fretting over warning his friend and, like, is depressed, you gotta show footage of fucking Serizawa looking depressed.
Of course.
So
of course, right?
Do I understand this correctly? I don't really have a section of the movie. I'm just doing background details.
Yeah, that's really,
that's like the whole movie.
Because you're realizing, Dylan, that a lot of the stuff in Room 237 was just background stuff.
Indeed, yes.
So, like the one we talked about the fucking Minotaur, which I was like,
oh my god,
how does this make sense?
At one point in Godzilla's Revenge, there's a can on the shelf. Obviously, this is about...
So you need to look at like a bare bones like silhouette of something and analyze how it's like this Greek figure.
Anything that looks normal, you need to tear it apart and say it's not normal. That's like what you've got to do.
Also, there's a lot of images of smoke in the film.
Obviously, all the smoke means that Ishiro Honda was a fan of Lost. Wait, you're telling me that this was made before Lost? Damn it. Okay. We might win awards and shit, you guys.
We're not going to win awards.
No, that would be awesome if suddenly this like takes off as like a huge YouTube video.
We send it to Sundance.
Yes.
I just want to say this, just for the audience gets what Andres is saying by his Facebook conversations. There's a picture of a cheeseburger. Finally.
Andres, you gotta post that cheeseburger on this.
Okay, I'll post it.
The fools at the grill get it right. His friend says, "Is this a custom order? LOL." And fucking God, Dave goes, "Yes. I demand extra cheese and meat." Okay, it gets better. Where's that at? How much? Cooper, McDonald's, John. I got that shit for free.
It's funnier when Adam reads it. Of course.
Yeah. Why the crap aren't they serving onion rings? This has always bothered me. Best hook me up with one or else. This was not break me.
The funny thing is that we never get to see this side of David in audio form. Only in text do we get to see this side.
Andy goes, "You should be eating this, David." And Andy, "I eat what I want."
Now this is a story all about how his life got turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute just sitting right here to tell you how Will became the Ultraman of Bel Air.
You rehearsed that.
So there was this 16-year legal lawsuit between Subaraya Productions and another studio. The person who was behind this second studio claimed that he was part of the creation of Ultraman and that he should own certain rights over the use of the character. And
so the Japanese Kevin McClory.
Right. And so there was a 16-year lawsuit, and eventually it was settled. The second company now has the American distribution rights to Ultraman, Ultra Q, and Ultra 7, which is why we have those three available on DVD in America. And so now they are making deals, and they want to make an Ultraman show in America, and they want Will Smith as the lead actor for this show. And there has been a recent video that popped up on the internet, which was like this interview from like years ago, where Will Smith was in a Japanese talk show, and they started asking him questions about what Japanese stuff he grew up with, and he mentioned that he grew up with actually watching the original Ultraman show. It is possible that Will Smith is at least familiar with this franchise.
He's a robot, right?
Obviously, yes, Will Smith is a robot created to be...
Andres,
I just want to know, have you seen Gorizard's review of all of the original Ultraman series, which the audience should totally check out? Ding!
Yes, I have.
So now you know everything you need to know about Ultraman.
Yeah, he's a robot, right?
Yes, Bill.
Andres.
Robot from outer space.
What if? Oh, that's. See, Andres. I've been trying to say this to you for a while now. That is you, Adam, and David's spin-off show, The Robots from Outer Space. That's your spin-off show.
There is a title I really want to use in the similar vein of Demons from Outer Space, but that's another story.
You guys should fucking do it! You heard it here first, folks. There are plans for a third SOS spin-off show.
Just use SOS episode number. Just use SOS episode number 9 as a pilot, and just go from there.
Yes, dude. We can enterprise into. We can have a Sons of Serizawa podcasting network.
Because here's the big picture here. We're trying to expand our horizons.
T-shirts, gaming channels.
Guys, we need a cooking show. We need a fucking cooking show.
They're localizing themselves. A cooking show?
Cooking with the ghost of piss pants.
The ingredients from outer space.
You really want this franchise to happen?
Yes!
We do.
Do it!
We'll give you guys something to do. It will give you guys something to do on Thursday nights.
Yeah, you guys have nothing to do on Thursdays. Dylan and I are doing DFOS. We're having a good time. You guys could be having a good time, too.
It sounds like an ad for drugs.
I turn into a cobra.
Good time. Yes. Got nothing to do on Thursday night.
I pull out a fucking hypodermic needle.
Have you been to space? This'll take you to space.
You're a mean one, Gorizard.
You really are a fuck. You read kaiju stories to your children and put them in sanitariums. I can't rhyme.
You do a horrible job at this, Bill. You are not the next.
I really am bad.
You are
rhyming.
not the next Shakespeare.
I wrote. No, well, fuck you. I wrote. We share a name. That's enough. I wrote this poem in a writing program in was it? I don't remember what the year. 2012, I believe it was. It was the same year Rises came out. I remember if it was 11 or 12. And I remember fucking writing this poem. We had to write a poem about how people reject us. Or no, I'm sorry. It was what people think of me. And I wrote about being a geek. Or being a Godzilla fan specifically. And this was not a poem. It was a 3-page rant about how people make fun of Godzilla fans. And it did not rhyme at all. Here's the wonderful part. You can find me reading it on the internet.
What? I want to find it. I must find it.
Go on Google and search up Bill Wurster Vimeo.
Oh, I see it. Vimeo? I see it.
Alright guys, let's do commentary. So Andres, post the link. For whoever
oh
the link.
My god, I found it.
In 3, 2, 1, play.
My first Godzilla movie was when I was 3 years old.
Oh my fucking
Oh
god.
shit. First it starts off this way.
I have most of the Godzilla movies on VHS tape, and
I look like such a fucking geek.
Batman the Animated
comic book geek is a widely known.
The stereotype of the comic book.
You look very blonde in this video.
Go over me because I'm easy prey.
Who the hell shot this video? I must stab them.
Based on how film and on television. As geeky shut-ins who've never spoken with.
Also, look at the T-shirt.
The Hulk had two.
Hey, I have that T-shirt from the opposite sex.
The first one was terrible. The second one was. I like to see a Hulk movie that isn't based on the TV series. TV series was fine for the 70s and 80s.
Look at that fucking acne.
Sports fans don't go around terrorizing those.
Oh, Bill, just look at that facial acne.
Look at that acne.
I was blessed not to get that much for facial acne.
Well, I've had my battles with facial acne.
It looks like I'm growing like a fucking
third eyeball.
Yeah, it looks like I'm trying to become Tien from DBZ. Like that's how big it is.
Who can't survive in the same room as the opposite sex.
You have
like this isn't a poem. This is a rant.
You have
I forgot that this was supposed to be a poem.
This is supposed to be a poem.
It's like
and it's clearly not.
It's like you're like in a documentary where you're being interviewed.
Right? That's how I took it. I was fucking like flattered to be this like to be taken this seriously by a guy.
I just want to say, Bill.
What?
Beautiful eyes.
It just cuts off in the middle of me ranting about Smallville. I love it.
That was hilarious.
That is the wonderful poem of William Wurster. Like it's not even. It's a fucking rant about fucking like just bitching about something that really shouldn't even be bitched about.
First world problems.
Oh god, gigantic first world problem. Anyway, so that is the poetic masterpiece of William Wurster.
First, a comment on this video. Oh boy, will I.
Fuck you, Andre. Guy ordering the commercial.
Oh, guys, I know for a fact that Dylan's gonna be watching this, and I just realized that he's missing out on a lot of old people jokes that he probably would have.
Oh God! He's the one everybody talks about.
I seriously want to know what this individual looks like.
We're driving the G-Fest together, so I'm gonna fucking find out. And I keep making the joke that he's gonna show up and be like some kind of 45-year-old like serial rapist.
I did know
who's wearing like one of those open 70s shirts, exposing his chest hair, pedo stash.
I do know Dylan is a blonde because I remember I made a blonde joke once, and he was like, "Hey."
Yeah. Imagine if Dylan ends up looking like this. He's being like you're like this abomination. You're like, oh God.
Oh God. If Dylan oh God. If Dylan looks like that, I am going to just die.
You know what's really scary?
Wait.
I know somebody who looks just like that.
Wait. Andres, which one?
Yes.
Which one? The one to the right or the one to the left?
What do you think?
I'm the guy on the left, and Dylan is on a leash.
Bill,
I have to hold him back from biting.
Bill, you got to put this picture up on the video. Dylan's got to see this.
I'll definitely do that.
No, he won't.
No, I'll remember this time, Andres, because I just don't put pictures in spite you.
I should take this picture and put it up as the Toho Nation wallpaper.
No.
If you do it, I will have no objections.
Attack of the Gothopotamus.
We did our Christmas special, which was 4 hours long, and we split it up into two. We split it up into the Christmas special and the New Year's special. And due to the New Year's special being made before New Year's, we haven't talked since Christmas, so we've got a lot of catching up to do. But the first thing we're going to discuss is some Facebook comments I made on New Year's Eve. So let me just provide some context for the things you're about to hear. So New Year's Eve is obviously a time where everybody does one very specific thing before the ball drops. And if you don't know, I guess I'll spell it out for you. I got really drunk on New Year's Eve. I got very, very intoxicated. And I went home from the party I was at about, I don't know, 1 in the morning. And when I got home, I did two things. The first thing I did was watch Godzilla vs. Biollante. I don't know why, but I had this pining to watch Godzilla vs. Biollante. And the other thing I really wanted to do was go on Facebook. And Andres and Adam are going to regale you with some of the comments I made. Here is what he wrote to me on New Year's. He wrote, Adam, Happy New Year's. And I put Happy New Year's, Billy. And then he said, Adam, are you drunk? 'Cause I am.
I love how fucking clear I am what's going on.
Wowhoo! He wrote, Wowhoo!
Wowhoo. Happy New Year, you beautiful bastards.
Bill, you're drunk. Go to bed.
You're not wrong, but first I'm going to watch Godzilla vs. Biollante, then I'm going to bed.
I'm watching Batman Begins, LOL. Oh, and Yaoi. Lots of Yaoi.
There you go. You gotta make yourself more than just a man, Adam. Oh, this is me. Hold on, Adam. This may be one of the few rare moments in life where Bill actually shares his emotions. Andres Perez, I will share the emotion that you guys are like brothers to me. You guys are the best. And that Godzilla vs.
violence is really fucking complex when you're drunk. But Gondo is still a badass.
Well, Bill Wurster says, but Gondo is still a badass, and then I go, so is Yaoi, and sexy.
And then I go, I shall cherish this moment.
And here's where things take a turn for the dark.
Here's where things get fucked up.
Adam, Caesar noise. I'd fuck Gondo.
Adam, is there any Yaoi with Gondo?
No, we're going to do a version of Two Truths, One Lie here on the Sons of Serizawa podcast tonight. And I am going to host it, and you guys are each going to have to guess which one is the fake one and which ones are the real ones. But this is not about my life, because I'm going to save that for next week. These are stories that kind of feel fitting for the Sons of Serizawa to tackle. Gentlemen, tonight I present to you fucked up Bigfoot sightings.
I love this.
I knew Adam was going to be excited. I know David is internally excited, but because he's Latino, Regis Philbin, he won't express his excitement. And Dylan and Andres, I don't know. So these are 3 weird-ass Sasquatch sightings. 2 of them were actually reported. 1 of them I made up. So the first story is called Ingraham and the Old Man of the Crater. And the subtext is glowing Bigfoot communicates telepathically. So here is the story of Ingraham and the Old Man of the Crater. So there is this explorer in the 1800s named Ingraham, and he and a companion went to Alaska, and they come across this crater. There are scratch marks on the bottom of the crater, and they're like, what the fuck? They must be bear tracks. But then around the scratches, they find tracks of a flat-footed animal. They follow them, and they lead to a cave that has an ominous glow coming out of it. And at a certain point, Ingraham says, we ought to go back, this could be dangerous. But internally he was thinking, fuck this, I'm doing this alone. So they go back to camp, and he waits for his friend to fall asleep, and this is nighttime now, and he decides to go back like a fucking boss. So he goes back to the cave, enters the cave, and he's looking around, and he continues to follow the footprints, and then he starts to hear, and he ducks to the wall in the darkness to hide. And out of the cave comes barreling a furry, man-looking creature with claws on its hands and flat feet.
It was Sean Connery.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, actually. No joke.
Who goes there?
Who goes there?
Those are disturbing my slumber. I'm currently waiting for Kevin MacLeod.
Kevin MacLeod?
Connor MacLeod. I don't know, I've had too much to drink.
I want to ask you about the penis mightier.
So Sean Connery comes barreling out of this cave, and he doesn't see Ingraham. So this creature puts its hands down and starts to vibrate violently, seemingly involuntarily. And as it quivers faster, it starts to glow. And the creature begins to elevate itself off the ground. And suddenly, Ingraham also starts to quiver involuntarily and starts to glow.
Oh,
this is one strange Sasquatch.
And at this point, the Sasquatch notices him and turns to him and growls. But suddenly, it points out its fingers and shoots a ray of light at him. Ingraham involuntarily does the same thing. The beams of light connect and form an arc.
This is when Ingraham learned that bumbles bounce.
No, you know what I was going to say? I was going to say, and thus the Book of Mormon was created.
I was going to say this is where McDonald's got their logo from. So, suddenly, Ingraham finds himself communicating with this creature telepathically, and finds out that what this thing is something called a subranian. They were a civilization long before man that was wiped out by nuclear war. And they burrowed into the earth and stuck out a living in the crevices of the earth. And this creature then says, Ingraham, join us.
This is what Scientologists actually believe.
And then Ingraham starts to become fearful because he starts to feel strange, and he manages to tear himself from the psychic connection and runs out of the cave, went back to camp, got up his companion, and ran out of Alaska, and never returned.
Submitted for your approval, a glowing Sasquatch.
That is the first story. Ingraham and the Old Man of the Crater, a.k.a. Glowing Bigfoot, communicates telepathically. The second story is called Moosla Harry, captured by Sasquatches and transformed into a gray Sasquatch when he returns home.
What?
Best title ever.
Moosla Harry was a Native American who was a member of a tribe in the Pacific Northwest who used whaling as a major tool. So Harry would usually canoe far away from his people to find new coves where whales would frequent. So he canoes about 45 miles away from his village. He goes on this island, and what he would do is he would, hunt in the area. He would look for rocks or, whatever, anything that struck his fancy. He loved it. It was what he lived for. This was his time. And he set up a camp, and he would and we lost David. I'll have to...
Elizabeth Taylor.
I'll have to...
Elizabeth Taylor? Okay.
You didn't hear the story about Elizabeth Taylor was secretly Bigfoot the entire time.
I'm more interested in this than I am the actual story.
Alright, fuck you. Anyway.
So I can't take it seriously, Bill. I don't believe in Sasquatch. I believe in Man-Bear-Pig.
Anyway, so this guy sets up a campsite. He's sleeping by the campfire, and he's wrapped in these warm blankets, right? Layers upon layers of warm blankets. He's not in a tent or anything. He's just in these warm blankets. And he just finds himself being awoken like he's being picked up. And he's like, what the fuck? Literally. And he's picked up, but because he's wrapped up in all these blankets, he can't tell what's underneath him, what's picking him up. So this creature is carrying him, and he's rustling out of the blankets. Harry's trying to get out and try and see what this thing is. And he manages to rustle his way out of the blankets and sees nothing but this horrific, hairy face of the Sasquatch. In fear, because he knows these things from the stories by his elders, he wraps himself back up in the blankets. So he's carried for miles, and suddenly finds himself being dropped, unravels himself in the blankets so he can see, and he finds himself surrounded by dozens of Sasquatches, and is just obviously distraught with fear. So he's looking for something to defend himself with, but he's still wrapped up in the blanket, so very tightly, so he can't really get his arms free. And he's also surrounded by dozens of these creatures.
Well, that's his fault.
And the creatures just keep staring at him. They just seem to be studying him. This goes on for days. He keeps on being stared at by these things. And on the last day, before he escaped, all of them converge on him and just start tearing at the blankets, touching every inch of his body. He's just being assaulted, basically molested by these creatures.
I call this Whore of the Gargantuas.
Dylan, that's the episode title right there. That is fucking genius.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so in the midst of this chaos, he actually escapes. He fucking runs out. He runs through the woods. He runs miles and miles, not able to stop, terrified. He can hear these things chasing him in the distance. He keeps running. He gets to his canoe. He unanchors. He paddles furiously to get back to his village. His villages have scouts. And they're looking out over the water. And they see a canoe coming in from the distance. And they're waiting for it to get closer, thinking it's Harry. But as it gets closer, they notice that the only occupant of the canoe is a gray, hairy creature wearing brown rags. And they pick up their arrows, and their bow and arrows, and they just start assaulting this thing with arrows. And they kill it. And they bring the body back, and they just see this gray creature just covered in these rags. And of course we know that this is Harry, and that they turned him into a gray Sasquatch.
Now, how the hell do we know his story if he died?
Yeah, how did the Indians report this?
because they figured it out. This is the final sighting. Charlie.
The unicorn?
Charlie looks down ridge and sees Sasquatches swarming.
Wait, is this another story told by the Indians? Charlie looked down ridge.
This is the story told by Harold D. Culp about a man named Charlie who was a prospector. He went off looking for gold, and he ended up getting swarmed by Sasquatches.
What is this the Thomas Bay story?
Thomas Bay?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, this was in Utah.
Yeah, that's where the Thomas Bay story takes place.
Anyway, so this dude named Charlie, he's a prospector. He's walking in the woods, and he comes across a couple of birds, and he shoots them.
I should have saved my Yukon Cornelius reference for this one. Damn it.
Yeah, you should have waited, Dylan. So he's looking around for a place to make camp, but he ends up coming across this ridge. So he's like, I have to turn back. But first, he wants to admire the view. So he looks over the ridge, and he looks down, and he sees dozens of horrific creatures. He describes them as demons.
Yeah, this is the story.
And there's dozens of them. He's horrified. He turns around, and he runs, and he never looks back. And he never encountered them again, but it was the most horrifying moment of his life.
Okay, Bill,
so Adam, you've heard this story. You've heard this story.
Yeah, I have.
Okay, alright, so that immediately fucks with me. I knew you were going to know one of these stories.
I actually know all three.
What?
Wait, one of them's supposed to be fake. How could you know all three?
Alright, well hang on, Adam. Let them guess. Alright, so those are the three stories. David, which one is the fake one?
The one with the glowing Bigfoot.
Okay, Andres.
Whatever, the middle one.
The middle one, the one about Moosla Harry?
Yeah.
Alright, Dylan, which one's fake?
I'm going to go for the one featuring the sexual harassment Sasquatch.
Moosla Harry. Okay, 2 for Moosla Harry.
That's his name.
Adam, which one's fake?
Make it 3 for Moosla Harry.
Moosla Harry? Yep, Moosla Harry is the fake one. David, you're wrong. The glowing one is a true story.
Now you have to change your profile picture to read still.
No, you have to change it to a picture of Sasquatch fucking someone. Now you have to go look.
A picture of Sasquatch fucking Regis Stelbeck.
Yes!
You have to go Photoshop it yourself.
That is so fucking cruel. What's going on there, folks? I am Bill Wurster, a.k.a. Zazubar, and this is the Sons of Serizawa Podcast. Oh yeah, getting all sexy tonight. What's going on, guys? Joining me as always, I have Adam Noyce.
Fuck y'all.
Also, I got Dylan McCandless.
Hello.
And also joining me from the wet coast of California. That
was the worst freaking pun. Now, what the hell was that?
I have Andres for AKA.
I'm here, mostly.
Oh yeah, Andres is sick, everybody. So everybody tell Andres to feel better.
Yeah, stupid flu.
2 lies, 1 truth. 1 thing has to have happened, 2 things didn't. Okay, story number 1. In elementary school, I tried to convince my friends that I had an alternate personality called Evil Johnny, who was crazy and a darker version of myself.
Why Johnny?
I don't know. Number 2. When I was in 8th grade, I actually tried to become a superhero and even made a costume called Muscle Man, wearing a tank top, one of those like those things people put over their eyes to help them sleep.
Yes.
Yeah.
A face mask. Wearing one of those over my eyes.
Did you cut holes in them?
No. I stopped when my friend's mom heard me talk about this and said she'd call the cops if I tried to do it. Number 3. In 6th grade, I threw an ink pen at my friend after he said Lego Star Wars was stupid. And after school, my friend's dad cornered me when I was walking to another friend's house and threatened my life. So I started crying and went back home and watched Godzilla Final Wars until I stopped and my parents got home.
Those are my 3.
He is the most interesting man in the world. Okay,
Okay.
Is Muscle Man ever going to have an epic battle with Evil Johnny?
Oh, God, yes. It's going to happen one day. Cool.
The problem with the first 2 stories is they both sound like something some stupid kid would do. I want to believe in Evil Johnny.
Okay.
What's your thought process, Andres? What are you thinking? What's going through that Mexican mind of yours?
Tacos.
Taco, burrito.
I think the third story might be a bit over-exaggerated, wouldn't you say? Second story sounds a bit too ridiculous.
Yeah, here's a question. Why not just cut some damn eye holes in the...
Because I didn't want... Because they were my grandma's and I wasn't allowed to ruin them.
But then why even use them in the first place?
As a mask.
You couldn't think of another mask?
I couldn't put a full mask on out of fear that I'd get pulled, like the cop would see me and think I was doing something wrong.
Didn't you learn anything from Superman? All you needed were glasses, Bill. Glasses.
That's why nowadays he wears sunglasses when he's in his civilian form.
It's true.
That's true.
When he turns into Zazubar.
As opposed to my other form, yeah.
Yeah, there's Bill Wurster and then there's Zazubar. When he turns into Zazubar, he takes off his sunglasses.
No, I put on the sunglasses.
Ah, okay.
Zazubar is the glasses and the hat.
Okay.
Bill is just a fat-ass blonde kid.
I would say, okay, I'm going to say that the first one was true.
Yeah, see, it's definitely down between that one and the second one being true, but the second one does sound a bit more ridiculous, and as I said, I want to believe in Evil Johnny, so I'm going to say that story number 1 is in fact the true story.
Although now I want to see Muscle Man versus Ghost Skater now.
Yeah.
Is that your final answer, guys?
Yeah.
It is.
You're right! The first one was true.
Whew.
But all 3 of them happened in one manner of speaking or another. The only thing that makes the last 2 fake was that I added details that didn't happen. No friend's mom ever called the cops on me. I stopped because I realized how fucking stupid it was. And then also there's no crime in Carl Place to stop. And then the second one, the fight was not over Lego Star Wars. It was just over stupid friend shit. There's
a superhero in Carl Place, and he's just busting jaywalkers.
What?
There isn't even that going on.
Watch out, Phoenix Jones. Here comes Muscle Man. I think I saw a documentary about this one incident where it was an exploding sperm whale, but it was because there was so much gas being built up inside the body.
Yeah, usually it tends to happen for a natural reason as opposed to fucking sheer American stupidity where they put dynamite in them. Dave, you've been quiet. Have you ever seen an exploding sperm whale?
But I want to now find this video.
Apparently sperm whales look a nuisance.
I think I just found it.
The one with the dynamite?
I think I just found it.
You'll believe a whale can fly from dynamite.
No, you'll believe chunks of a whale can fly, not the whole whale.
Yes.
Everybody, press play. In 1, 2, 3, play.
Brains.
It had to be said, the Oregon State Highway Division not only had a whale of a problem on its hands.
We have a whale of a problem on its hands.
Here we have a dead sperm whale, which I will now commentate on by 70.
So bad.
Oh yeah. Well, think of it this way: sperm whales are filled with oil, and oil goes bad. So, ugh. How about that guy standing next to it, just like, "Yup, this is a sperm whale, all right."
Yeah, I know.
Oh God, it's not. This is gonna sound weird, but that's actually small for a sperm whale.
I think it's juvenile.
Look at the dynamite! He's a fucking idiot.
It's like the actual the kind of dynamite you would see in a cartoon with like the box and the lever.
No, it looks like the fucking scene from King Kong vs. Godzilla.
I was also thinking of that.
He'll be here by morning. Do you think that this dynamite will send the whale back to the sea? I think it will work.
I'm pretty sure my science is sound.
The science of sound. We are using dynamite. Look at this kid in the background just like kicking something.
It's kicking the whale. Go back into the sea, you filthy animal.
thing. Like, there's a giant animal, like, next to it, and he's so bored he just wants to kick the dirt.
Oh, look at this fucker carrying the dynamite.
They
have no idea what's coming.
It's like, they seriously have no idea what this is going to do. This is going to...
They have no clue. They think this is a good
I think
idea.
common sense would dictate that this is not going to work. I mean, they have an entire film crew documenting all of this. There are people who are sitting there waiting for it to happen.
This was built to fail. Oh, here it comes. Here it comes. I'm so excited. I shouldn't be, but I'm excited.
And you just can't hide it.
Oh my god! Look at it! Like a cloud!
And
it's just fucking gone.
Look at the chunks falling.
Oh, they just hit that guy in the head! Oh god!
Oh my god.
Oh god. They need to do a scene like this in the new Godzilla movie with one of the fucking insect things.
The whale blubber fell everywhere. Understatement of the century.
Creatures. We're gonna send it into the ocean.
Look at the broken glass! Such a shitty idea. Everybody's like, nobody knew this was gonna happen.
Guys,
I wonder if insurance will cover that.
I doubt it.
My car got crushed by whale blubber. How the fuck did your manager at Custom put dynamite under it?
Look at them just like, oh,
I love that because like, oh, well, it didn't matter because now the whale was such a small size, we could put it back into the ocean where it belongs.
They're still pushing the rest of it into the ocean.
Look how little of it is. Oh! Ew! Right,
this is an example of what not to do.
This is the achievement of modern technology.
Here's another question. David, what are chicken nuggets made out of, if not chicken?
Baby chickens. That's what I tell children, that they're made out of baby chickens. It usually puts them off for a day.
He's like,
oh my god, that's horrible.
They just take entire baby chickens, throw them into a grinder.
Oh, I saw that.
Oh,
I saw that. Did you guys see that video?
No.
Oh, it's been like on Facebook where, you know when you go on Facebook and like the video, those videos just like play automatically?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's what happened. It's like all these baby chicks, they're like in this machine and then the machine goes and I was like, oh!
See, that kind of thing doesn't bother me. I don't know why.
It's because you're a sociopath.
No, it's like the only animals I care about is the ones on my plate.
That's not the weirdest encounter I had at McDonald's. The weirdest encounter I had was when I was taking these two random girls' order, and out of the blue, okay, I'm expecting them to take an order, but what they asked me is, do you have babies to eat? I'm like, what? I'm like,
welcome to the cannibal fucking sector of McDonald's.
This is the wrong restaurant. If you want your baby back ribs, you need to go to Chili's.
For a moment, I actually legitimately believed that she was a cannibal, but then she started laughing, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then she's telling me that she just saw this video on Facebook saying, apparently, our meat is made out of humans.
McDonald's patties is people!
People!
Surf Man, it's a cookbook.
Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. I rewatched Ghostbusters the other night, so it's on my mind, man. That movie holds up crazy well.
They blew it up.
God damn you all to hell! Ah!
Oh! Figures it'd turn out to be something like this.
Right? We can blame it all on McDonald's. Ah!
They ran out of cows to turn into beef, so they started using apes.
What the Would you like a McChimp?
Hey guys, speaking of Japanese Charlton Heston, you know what I heard recently?
That he was cited?
That Destroyable Monsters and Godzilla vs. Megalon return to Blu-ray and DVD.
I will not be buying either, because I'm satisfied with the versions I own.
Yeah, I'm not getting those.
I'm still satisfied with my dollar store copy of Godzilla vs. Megalon, which I'm looking at right
with,
now.
With, like, the shitty, like, public domain quality.
I'm gonna pull it out. I'm gonna read you guys the box I have for Godzilla vs. Megalon.
Oh, Jesus.
Godzilla vs. Megalon. Ace Video presents
a
DVD movie.
Oh my god.
Godzilla vs. Megalon. Seatopia, spelt with 2 E's. A secret sea kingdom fears that mankind's nuclear weapons will ultimately destroy their underwater civilization.
Pretty accurate.
They decide to build a secret weapon, quote-unquote Megalon, to destroy all surface-dwelling civilization. Oh, get this. This is a space-age monster insect and his sparring partner, Gigan, who are now out to eliminate the human race as we know it. But not if Godzilla and Jet Jaguar have anything to say about it. Humanity has nothing to fear as long as they have mighty friends such as these to fight for all that is right in this world.
Okay, that is clearly wrong because that is not Jet Jaguar, that's King Kong in a robot suit.
Right, and clearly, I mean, they got the Megalon thing right. I mean, he's a demon from outer space. That's right.
No, apparently he's a space-age galactic sparring partner.
A space-age monster and insect and his sparring partner.
Gigan, you can be my wingman any day.
Witness this mighty clash of the Titans. Ace Video presents Godzilla vs. Megalon, blah, blah, blah. Oh, special features on this disc. You ready for this?
An interactive menu with chapters.
Interactive menu?
Yes!
Scene selection.
Yes!
And it's region-free.
Woo! Yeah!
Fuck yeah! DVD movie, and it's made in the USA.
Man, fuck Criterion Gojira. This is the real shit, man.
Please tell me it's a horrible pan and scan version of Godzilla vs. Megalon.
Oh, it's horrible. It looks terrible.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's the VHS on DVD.
Yeah.
It's even the same dub. I have the VHS still as well. It's the same dub.
Well, I think there's only one dub.
There is only one dub.
Well, what if there were two, Andres?
It would probably be the Spanish or Italian dubs.
Or the German.
Redneck dub.
Or the German.
Oh, of course, the German dub.
Oh, so look, Andres, guess who's wrong?
I meant for American distribution purposes.
You were wrong, Andres. Andres, you were wrong. Admit you were wrong.
Andres, get to the corner.
Andres, touch my penis. No. Your Black Panthers and your fucking Ant-Mans. I want new Hulk. They set up an awesome Hulk story, and now they're not doing it.
They should name the movie that, Bill. They should name the movie Hulk Smash.
People would fucking go. If you name a movie Hulk Smash, I will be there again, lubed up and ready to bend over.
Give me a cameo by Bill Bixby.
He's dead.
Oh, give me a cameo by his corpse. No.
They pass by his gravestone.
No, at one point, Hulk busts into a theater that's doing Shakespeare, and they're holding up Bill Bixby's skull, saying, "Alas, poor Rourke."
But nobody would know it's Bill Bixby's skull.
We would know, Bill. It would be in the DVD extra features, and we'd be like, "Oh, that's whose skull that was."
I'm wondering whose skull that was.
That's horribly crude.
Because they are love lickers, and ice cream is a feeling. I can only think of one character off the top of my head that creeps me out more than the little baby's ice cream commercial.
How can you eat your ice cream if you don't have any ice cream?
Dylan, is it Jeremy Irons from Dungeons and Dragons?
No, it is not. No, it is not. I can only think of one character that creeps me out more than the little baby's ice cream commercial, and it's obscure. And if anybody in the audience gets it, I hope they do, and I hope it haunts their dreams. The mysterious stranger from the Adventures of Huckleberry Finn.
Welcome to the mysterious stranger.
Hello.
Who are you?
An angel. What's your name? Satan.
And from TV?
No, it was a TV claymation movie, and they banned this section of the movie. And to get it, you have to like track down like video or whatever. But it's this incredibly creepy thing that was meant for children.
What?
Oh my god, that is so creepy.
I want this guy to be my lawyer.
You may make some people. See why this guy creeps me out worse than the little baby's ice cream.
Why are the kids playing with a guy who calls himself Satan? Doesn't that seem like a bad idea?
It does.
I like this guy.
I can do no wrong, for I do not know what it is.
So he just committed genocide, so that's cool.
He's only like Uber Hitler, no big deal.
Life itself is only a vision.
A dream. Nothing exists
save empty space, and you
are but a thought.
Okay, first off,
that's awesome. Fuck you guys. That's great. I love it.
Fucking...
And this was American made for children.
I don't find it that scary.
This was a movie made for children, man.
I don't care. I let my kids watch that.
No, Bill, it's not scary. It's unsettling.
Nah. I'd let that guy watch my kids.
So, like, right now, as soon as the microphones turn off, Bill's gonna start crying himself to sleep.
Alright, guys, good night.
If there were an SOS movie being made, I love my answer to this one. What actor would you want to play yourself?
Since he's not here, I'd like to answer for him. I think Danny Trejo should play Gorizard.
Yeah! Alright, if we're doing stunt casting, I want to be played by Hugh Laurie.
I want, just to pull out the first actor in my mind, Michael Madsen. There.
Yeah.
I would like John Leguizamo.
Yeah, oh, that's perfect. That is perfect casting.
I know who I want to play me. I want the guy from The Hangover. Zach Galifianakis. Zach Galifianakis. I want him to play me.
In the same vein, I also think Chris Evans would be a good Bill Wurster. He'd be a good Bill Wurster. I know he's retiring from acting, but one more role as Zazubar.
I mean,
I think I could do it.
Is he a method actor? Because he might have to spend some time with the Krispy Kreme. Really.
What is he doing? What is that supposed to mean?
Really train up for the role.
So SOS the movie starring Zach Galifianakis, Hugh Laurie, John Leguizamo, Danny Trejo, and Dylan. Oh, and what would you say, Michael Madsen?
Michael Madsen.
I want to see this movie happen.
I want to see this movie happen too.
I gotta ask, whose idea was it to make me Danny Trejo?
I think that was me.
Yeah, that was Dylan.
Wait, Dave, were you there when they did the original recording of the Q&A?
Yeah, but I couldn't. None of us could remember what he said, so I was just like, Danny Trejo.
I said Denzel Washington. The man's a damn fine actor.
he could totally pass for a Salvadorian.
No, that is the greatest sponsorship I've ever heard for an actor. I want Denzel Washington. Why? He's a damn good actor.
You see Training Day, right?
Wait a minute.
Do you think Denzel can fucking sympathize with the inner ghetto-ness of Dave's life?
What if we turn this into a plot point? What if Danny Trejo, every time he looked in the mirror, he saw himself as Denzel Washington?
Oh my god.
And he would have conversations with himself, Willem Dafoe style.
It's like the Green Goblin. Yes, and he puts on like a Denzel Washington costume to go out and costume.
I'm fine with Danny Trejo now. I kind of made my peace with it.
Well, yeah. Oh, he was old fat. He's not like John Goodman. Like I have diabetes.
Getting pretty old.
Batman, we need your help.
If we're gonna do that, why have John Goodman?
Batman, don't touch my fucking food.
If we're gonna do that, why even cast John Goodman?
You need to help me control my wife, Roseanne.
Why not get frickin' Wilford Brimley? Why not? He's got the look.
Batman, I need your help to fight diabetes.
Diabetes.
Batman, there's a new villain on the scene. Who is it?
Diabetes. Who's attacking Commissioner Gordon? Diabetes. You just want me to run to the store and get your insulin again? Diabetes.
Well, he's like a Pokemon now.
Chief O'Hara, what's wrong with Commissioner Gordon?
Wilford Brimley.
No. You see, he looks like the Lorax, so he's like, I'm the Lorax. I speak for diabetes. See, sometimes there's a man.
Sometimes.
Listen here, Godzilla. Yeah, I know you're getting a little husky, and
then
due to all that radiation you've been eating.
Fat shames Godzilla.
The thing is, you're suffering from type 9000 diabetes. But don't worry, I'm here to...
So in other words, your diabetes is over 9,000.
Diabetes. You guys, there's a cat who looks just like Wilford Brimley. And it says, I have diabetes. This cat should have played Garfield. Hey, Garfield, you want some lasagna? Diabetes. I can't have diabetes.
Diabetes.
Hello, I'm Wilford Brimley Cat, and I'm here to warn you about the dangers of diabetes.
By the way, I can talk. Yeah.
Oh, Andreas, do you have any more stories?
Let's see. Anything else?
Somebody photoshopped his head onto Morpheus from Matrix. It's like, what if I told you diabetes?
You can either have diabetes or diabetes.
What if I told you diabetes or diabetes?
You can either have type A or type B.
What if I told you diabetes?
Are you saying? Whoa. And then Wilford Brimley builds his own little spaceship to try and escape from diabetes.
Little he knew, there's a little bit of diabetes in all of us.
Diabetes. Diabetes. Beatus. Beatus.
Keep calm and diabetes.
Joining me, as always, or the same as last time, is David Joshua Hernandez, a.k.a. Gorizard.
They call me Gorizard.
Ken, what'd you say? We didn't pick that up on the mic.
Shut up, Bill.
Called
I'm saying it once.
Gorizard.
I'm pretty sure that if I did produce a Gorizard film, it would just be called Gorizard without the in Japan.
Gorizard.
Would you just have Ken Watanabe just trying to say the name, but just constantly failing to articulate it properly?
More than likely, we'll just do one take and print it.
Also, you need
cut, print. It's fine.
Also,
Dave, he had the script in his hand. It's fine. Don't worry. It's fine. Just fucking print it. I don't care.
So you need to have some idiot in the movie who looks at the creature and goes, "Look, it's Guhrizzurd."
Dave, if you ever make a Gorizard movie, you have to make that joke. Everybody run! It's Gorizard!
Guhrizzurd, run!
Gorizard? Yeah. You mean Gorizard? Yeah, let's run!
Is that how you pronounce this mixture of the words gorilla and lizard? It's pronounced like neither of them? Yeah.
Really, okay. I thought it was Godzilla and Charizard.
Yeah, that's the explanation. That's what Dave was thinking. Not. He didn't think of the logic of Gojira, where it was gorilla and whale. No, he thought, I really like Godzilla. I can do a Charizard. Gorizard.
That's actually what my friends thought at first. How I came up with the name.
Dude, that's what I thought.
I don't know if I thought it was Godzilla. I thought it was more of a mixture of Charizard and the Gorn from Star Trek.
That'd be even weirder. Because the Gorn are giant monsters.
Is that how everybody thinks I came up with the name? I took the name from a Pokemon and applied it?
Yes.
I never thought that.
Well, thank you, Bill.
I didn't think you were cool enough to do that.
Hey!
And the final thing I want to pimp out is a new radio drama starring none other than Andres Perez and Adam Weiss called The Grand Adventures of Orson Welles and Marlon Brando. Do stay tuned for that. I'm really looking forward to putting these together. Yeah, we basically just took two prima donnas who had the same problems with cinema, and we're just throwing them together in a room and seeing what happens. Neither of them read the script. But anyway, also... What are you talking about, the mark? I am always on the mark.
You just put them in a room, you give them each a weapon, and see what happens.
But unfortunately, Marlon Brando would either eat said weapon or script.
Exactly.
Oh God! Yes.
Orson Welles would just drink champagne and he wouldn't know what to do with a gun. He wouldn't even know what a gun is. He probably would forget.
You guys want to see Marlon Brando in bad shape? Just watch the '96 remake of fucking The Island of Dr. Moreau. Holy shit! Holy shit!
I'll make you a piece of cake you can't refuse.
What happened to Jarrell?
Marlon, Mr. Brando, with all due respect. With all respect.
It's funny that Marlon Brando was known.
That really, you just need to drink the champagne and get your hands off my peas. Do not touch my frozen peas.
Now listen here, motherfucker. You don't tell me, Marlon Brando, whose peas I can touch or not.
I'm Orson Welles. I don't listen to anybody or anything. I'm a magician.
Who the fuck do you think I listen to as well? I listen to me and myself only.
At least I don't.
I don't even listen to my doctor.
At least I don't my pants every 5 seconds on the set of Mutiny on a Bounty, you fat piece of shit. I gained my weight naturally.
In a straight line without falling over my ass.
Really? That's not what your mother said last night, Mr. Brando.
My mother's dead.
She's been dead 50 years.
Oh, that explains why she was
died. She died from diabetes.
Marlon Brando.
Oh, you want to know somebody who has diabetes really bad?
My cat.
Wilford Billy.
Wilford Billy.
I actually lost a lot of weight over the past few weeks, so fuck you guys and blow me.
Oh wait, was she saying that like jokingly or what?
She was angry.
Was she really?
Yeah.
What?
She was angry.
Hold on, let me get into my inner Bill. Really?
Do I really say that like that?
Yeah.
I'll tell you this much, because I don't have a dog, but I have Simba, who might as well be. And I wrote about this on Facebook. One morning, I literally chased him around outside for a half hour, trying to capture him because he got out. He's not an outdoor cat; he's an indoor cat, and we don't want him to get out because pushing gets hit by a car, which is not something we want. And I chased him for a half hour. And he was running in and out of bushes and running through yards. And I was chasing him through my neighbor's yards at like 8:30 in the morning, which is not okay.
Who the fuck is that kid on my goddamn yards? That fucking Wurster kid.
No, they don't know me by name. They're like, who the fuck is that fat motherfucker running through my backyard?
Daddy, look, it's Bigfoot.
Snaps a picture. I'm in the pose. And I just look at him.
The freaking Finding Bigfoot team comes in. Yup, that's definitely a Squatch.
They do calls. I call back. Hello, everyone. I am Zazubar, and welcome to the 1-year anniversary of the Sons of Serizawa Podcast.
Really? You want to start on Dildo Saggins? That's where you want to
Joining me, as always, are my best buddies in the whole wide world, David Joshua Hernandez, a.k.a. Gorizard. Gorizard, say hi to the good people.
Good God, you got a fat neck, Bill. You was adopted. Worst $50 I ever spent. Could have got myself a matching pair of Chinese twins for 10.
What? Also joining me, as always, is he's just Adam Noyce. He's Adam Noyce. He's here.
Oh, hi.
Joining us also, as always, Dylan McCandless, a.k.a. Super DM64.
What up, bitches?
And also, from the wet coast of sunny California,
I'm never gonna sick of that. I will never.
Andre Perez, a.k.a. Kaiju Noir.
Rocket punch, motherfuckers!
Here's what I want from each of you. I'm going to start with David because I know he'll stumble over it for a few seconds and it'll be really funny. Hey. So, David, I want you to tell me what your favorite thing about doing this podcast has been and your favorite moment from all the episodes we've done. Okay? And everybody, let Dave speak. The floor is yours, sir.
Well, I'll tell you what. My favorite thing and favorite memory are both the same thing.
Okay.
Care to guess?
The bitches?
David, what's your favorite SOS moment? Just say it.
my favorite SOS moment and thing is whenever I talk.
Wow, what a letdown. I'm really glad I let you go first, Dave.
Oh yes, brilliant answer, brilliant, yes, quite, yes, jolly good. Smashing good, yes.
So, David, that's your favorite memory. Let's jump over to... Let's just go in order. Adam, let's jump over to you. Your favorite SOS memory / thing that came out of the show.
First off, the thing to come out of the show, in all seriousness, is just being able to talk with you guys, believe it or not. Because despite the fact
definitely.
how much I tear you guys a new one, how much you guys tear me a new one...
We do actually have genuine affection for one another. That's why.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys remember this, but before we started doing this show, I mean, we did WWG every now and then, but there was like a long dry period where we didn't talk to each other for like months.
There was ZGC, which was the precursor to Sons of Serizawa. If you read,
yeah, I mean that was kind of the proto SOS show.
But anyways, my favorite memory, and you guys are gonna fucking Sunbears.
Yeah, Sunbear.
You can do it. Yeah. You try to turn to Adam Sandler there for the moment.
Dylan's next. Dylan, favorite SOS memory, and then your favorite thing that came out of the show.
I don't have any memories. No. My favorite thing to come out of doing the SOS is this like slew of original kaiju we've created.
Oh, you stole mine! Fuck.
Because it's fucking amazing.
Yes.
And it's just it's one thing to be a kaiju fan. It's one thing to have your own like your own kaiju. Like we have like this entire like unofficial continuity thing.
We have an unofficial, and that's what makes SOS hilarious. Is that if you follow each episode, there is kind of like a continuity.
Not just with the kaiju, but also with the in-jokes. There's just this intricate web of continuity that happens when you listen to the show.
Somebody got the shit out.
Especially now that we have spin-offs and like humor from the spin-offs comes back into the main show, and it just all filters down, and it's very confusing now.
Here's the thing: SOS was created because of the conversations that we would have after stuff like World War G were fucking amazing. And that's where it came from. And the point of it was to have our fans be able to listen to that, too. Because that's where a lot of our stuff comes from.
Well, this actually...
And the problem is only worse now, because we spend like an hour before we record these things doing the same shit. And like so much stuff comes from that. That's so much better than what's on the show.
It's so sad. All the best stuff happens before or after the show.
Yeah.
And you know, the moment, and I think I'm going to use this as my favorite specific memory, because the last one I did was just like my favorite thing to come out of it. But for a specific memory, because this was the moment, because when we first came up with the idea of doing the show, I was unsure. I was like, really, we're going to do that? Well, we'll see how that comes out. But I think the moment that had me sold on it, and this goes all the way...
No bug-eyed monsters.
This goes all the way back to episode 1, is listening to the last 30 minutes of the first episode where we did the Secret Origins of JJ Jetplane.
The Secret Origins of JJ the Jetplane.
That is the most important thing about that episode.
That was the thing that sold SOS to everyone.
That defines SOS for however
conversation. If you want to introduce this show to anyone, introduce them with the last 30 minutes of that first podcast.
Yeah, because
it's weird listening back. It's weird listening back to it now, though, knowing how far the show's come, and like Andres isn't in it. That's weird. Like
I hadn't even met Andres at that point.
It's technically not your 1 year anniversary, Andres.
Yeah. So he should be excluded from this. This is for the true SOS members.
You guys, I'm going home.
Andres, what is your favorite thing that's come out of the show? Not memory. Your favorite thing.
Perhaps my favorite thing would probably be my entire Draco Azul project that Dylan and I have been collaborating on, because you guys have inspired me to pursue the creation of my own stories, scripts, and projects. And
Which is exactly why you're giving us a cut of the proceeds. Yes.
When you make millions, I want at least $10 and a ham sandwich.
I just want the ham sandwich.
No, I can buy myself a ham. I want Andres to buy me a ham sandwich.
And being able to bring these characters to life through a huge part, pretty much, without Dylan, this project wouldn't have come as far as it got, and I'm very grateful for that. And the fact that, like, when I was at G-Fest and I showed the images of Draco Azul to James Biggie, who is the writer of the...
Fucking Biggie!
The comic Robot God Akamatsu, which was kind of like it was a comic that he made. That's
which at this point I was very reticent because Andres is like, I'm going to show you Dylan stuff, and I'm like, oh god.
but no, he loved it, and even after I friended him on Facebook, he was like, yeah, I remember your stuff, really great. I can't wait to see that in a comic someday. And to have like someone like James Biggie like comment and praise this idea that I have just brought me so much joy and so much positive reinforcement. And I thought to myself, this whole universe story that I created with all these characters and monsters and mechs would not have happened had I not been a part of the Sons of Serizawa.
So I guess it's my turn. You guys took a lot of mine. Most of what you guys said are favorite memories of mine. So I think I'm going to start with the thing that's come out of it. Come out of the podcast, that's my favorite thing that none of you have mentioned. The network is I'm really proud of the network, of the fact that we now have 3 podcasts all under the same group and all interconnected and all us making people laugh and entertaining people. And because here's the thing. Our show is really weird.
What?
It is totally...
It's so weird.
It's so weird. It is the most out there humor I have ever heard released on the airwaves. It is just bizarre. And whenever I hear somebody who's not one of us say that they laughed at something, I really feel proud. Because it's again... At points when I introduce the podcast to people, I'm like, oh my god, how are they going to react? There's so much like potty jokes in it, and like really like graphic imagery and language.
Well, that's
but when people are like, oh my god, it's hysterical, I'm like, oh thank god, people like it. We're not crazy, right? This is actually funny.
Oh no, you're crazy. That's why we like it.
Exactly. No, it's fucked up, but that's why it's cool. So that's one of my favorite things.
Also, what's kind of interesting is that whenever we bring up the name of our podcast to the people we met at G-Fest, and they're like, surprisingly, we were like, well, I was surprised and happy to see that they thought the name itself was cool, and that reaction they had on their face was like, huh, why have I never heard of this before?
I've said this to you guys. I don't know if I've actually ever said this on recording. Aside from just being a really fun trip, the G-Fest thing turned out to be a really good business investment because we made a lot of frickin' connections there.
I'm looking forward to the day that all 5 of us can get together, stand in front of a camera, and say, at the same time, we are the Sons of Serizawa.
I want that to happen.
And live from New York, it's Saturday night!
Well, we just completely lost our souls. In my opinion, very fitting for the 1-year anniversary for the Sons of Serizawa podcast. I'd just like to thank everybody listening for joining us for this very special occasion and for following us for 1 year of fucked up bullshit. And to my brothers in arms, my fellow Sons of Serizawa, for being with me for this incredible journey.
Brothers, you know what I mean. Louie, 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 Louie. Louie, 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 Louie. Louie, 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 Louie. Louie, Louie, I'm gonna cry. Louie, 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 Louie. Louie, 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 Louie. Louie, 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 Louie. Louie, Louie, I'm gonna cry. Louie, 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 Louie. Louie, 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 Louie.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly the way it's been. In closing, I would simply like to say to you, do the best you can with what you got and be thankful that you're in no worse shape than you are. And if you'll obey these simple rules and do these simple things, I promise you, you'll feel better. See if I'm not right. Have a good day. Diabetes.